Hi everybody, Paul here from Hill Country Rings. A wood-turning buddy of mine that lives in the Pacific Northwest sent me some Oregon big leaf maple burl that he's cut down, and asked me if I could do anything with it. And I said, yeah, I think I can. So let's go on in the shop. Alright, my friend sent me some really nice little slabs of this big leaf maple burl. And he's a pin turner. I think this is really pretty when you make a pin out of it. So I'm thinking, maybe I can make a ring out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it up. It's really, really light. For maple, you'd think it'd be a lot harder and heavier, but I guess because it's the burl, it's really, really light. It's almost like feels almost like cork. So of course I'm going to stabilize this in resin. So we're going to cut it up, stabilize it in resin, and then the vacuum chamber, and then once we get it all stabilized, we'll make some rings out of it, or at least a ring for him. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to cut it up on the bandsaw. All right, we got some really nice little maple burl pieces. This one, might have to make a real small ring with that one. I think this one's probably the prettiest piece right here with that burl right there. So that might be the one we make a ring for him. So let's go ahead and put it into the resin, and we will cover it up with the chains and stuff, and then we will go ahead and put it in the vacuum chamber. So let's go ahead and do that. And it is gonna float like little corks. There we go. Yeah, 7 pieces. That's probably not too bad. This piece of this, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and sink them down there. Alright, let's get him into the vacuum. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on the vacuum, close the valve, and then we'll let it pull a vacuum and leave it under vacuum for at least a couple hours. All right, it has been sitting under the resin. I came out and turned off the vacuum. Sorry I didn't film that, but it's been sitting under the resin, out of the vacuum overnight. I had released the vacuum, and now these pieces, good grief, these pieces, let me get this piece of metal out. These pieces of wood that were so light and corky and floated so good, notice that they are sunk to the bottom of this resin. They are basically have soaked up that resin. So we're going to go ahead and take these and lay them out, and we're going to put them in the oven for a little over an hour at 225, kind of like you're doing barbecue almost. And what that'll do is set that resin, and then these will be nice and hard and turn really good, and we can make some good rings out of them. So we're going to go ahead and put these into the oven, and then leave just about an hour. So let's go do that. And it is not the best day for baking cookies outside. Oops, my glasses. Because it's a little rainy and wet, but I don't want to do this inside. So, we'll have to do. So we'll leave them there for about an hour. Alright, it's time to get out the cookies. Okay, there they are. Yeah. Alright, now we'll just let these cool off. And then we can start making some rings out of them. Alright, these are those pieces of that stabilized burl. The maple burl. This is probably the biggest piece. And we're going to be doing a size 14 in titanium. So that is going to be pretty tight, but I think we can make it. So let's go ahead and get this guy flattened off on both sides, and then we will bore him out, put in that ring core. Alright, looks like that's about a perfect fit. And you can see this the way this maple cuts is nice, beautiful curls. And it actually smells like maple syrup. So that's pretty cool. Alright, let's go ahead and bond this guy in. We're going to do that with this two-part epoxy, which is really, really strong. So what we're going to do first is make some little scratches on the inside of this wood to make that epoxy adhere really good. You don't want too smooth of a surface, so we're going to just kind of scratch up that inside of that wood with a razor knife. Kind of make some little scratches in there for the epoxy to kind of seep into and hold on to. Okay. And this ring core has these little grooves in there for that same purpose, which is good. We don't have to do anything to him except clean him up with some alcohol. And we always clean up the wood first to let the wood have a chance to dry out. So let's go ahead and clean up the wood. And we get some of that dust out. Now we'll clean up this ring core. Okay. And now we will put out some of this epoxy, mix it with the hardener, and then we will glue that ring into the core, or glue the core into the wood. Always start on the wood to give that epoxy a chance to seep in. Okay. Put some all the way around here. And we do both sides because that way you don't get a dry fit and you don't get any kind of bubbles or voids in the epoxy. Make sure that both sides are wet all the way around. I try to be careful not to get any inside the ring that we have to clean up later. If we can help it. Okay, let me just slide this in. Into that wood. Get some of the excess off. And we give it a little bit of a twist just to make sure that we get good bond and nice and flat. So we let that sit, and that will sit overnight. There it is. And then we'll come back and finish the ring out tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and the two-part epoxy is pretty good and cured, so we're going to go ahead and sand this guy level with the metal, the wood, and then we're going to put it on the lathe and turn him to shape. Actually, probably cut the corners off on the bandsaw, then put him on the lathe and turn him to shape, and then put some finish on him and polish him up. So let's go ahead and get started on that. All right, here's that maple burl ring, and it really came out pretty. I mean, it came out really nice. I don't know if I'm going to send it to him or not. Yeah, I think I will. If you would like a custom ring made from the deck of a battleship, from the wood from an M1 Garand, from an MLB baseball bat, or some other exotic wood, let me know. Check out Hill Country Rings, and I'd really love to make a ring for you. Thanks, everybody.